Hi everyone, welcome on board to Helper.tv.
The young boy you're looking at playing with the balloons is Tadenikawo. That is the first son of ONNI of IFE. And we all know what happened with the breakup of NAOMI and Oba Ogunwusi, ONNI of IFE. There was a lot that happened and she actually broke the marriage on social media. But custody of Tadenikawo, being that his mother left his father very early, has to be with the mother. People thought that ONNI of IFE would take back the boy, but that didn't actually happen. Congratulations to Tadenikawo, and of course, NAOMI is showing that she is a good mother to the boy, taking care of the boy. And we both, I believe, on this platform will be celebrating Tadenikawo. NAOMI somehow was able to get a lot of enemies. People said she came to destroy ONNI of IFE's life, came to shame the throne, and they said several things, several narratives were put out there. But when I went back to what she said previously, she said ONNI of IFE is not really who we think he is. More or less like ONNI of IFE is a two-faced person. And what do you expect if you are on that kind of throne? You have connections and you have people around you who always say yes sir, yes sir, and you might want to be strict at times. And being that ONNI of IFE has several other women in that palace, NAOMI is just the face of the palace, the woman that the Olori that it takes around. But that doesn't mean that there are no other women, and she has said it. And one will wonder how, if she is a prophetess and she sees, or did she just go in there by faith without hearing the word or the voice of God, or did someone somehow kind of convince her, told her stories, and manipulated her into believing that God has spoken that she should go into that marriage? But nevertheless, she finally retraced her steps, and I believe everyone makes mistake. It doesn't matter if you're a seer, you're a prophetess, evangelist, whatever title that you have put on yourself. Yes, she had a gift, something that many people might not have. She has this ability, according to what we've seen, to hear and to see visions. So people said, if you actually could, how come you went into this marriage knowing fully well that this man has other women? Are you saying that you're the legal wife? You know that he married someone else, somebody before, and he has, ONNI of IFE has gone through that, but he decided to do what people believe the oracle told him now, to marry as much as possible so as to shut the mouth of whoever it is they're wagging. But then this did not shut the mouth of people talking about ONNI of IFE. In fact, marrying several women every week and all of the tantrums that many of those women threw recently. And we also got to hear that ONNI of IFE did not pay for the wedding, that he only supplied one cow for each of this wedding. The women actually sponsored the wedding, and not just that alone, they also had to give to the king a gift, and ONNI of IFE, if you ask him or query him about this, he's going to go into some history and begin to tell you about how women in that time brought this to the king, how this and that. He might even tell you about King Solomon, how this, of course, Solomon is rich, but he didn't get all of this wealth by digging the ground. These were gifts that were brought to him. So he could go and begin to tell you that, in fact, King Solomon is from his lineage, he was the first ONNI and all of that. ONNI of IFE has a lot of stories, and a lot of stories that he comes up with. Now, with several women in the palace officially married, and the unofficial women in the palace that have not been, put out there publicly, married, and those ones are broke. They are broke. They don't have much. And if you look at the number one that is with ONNI of IFE right now, she is richer than the second. The second is richer than the third. That is how the queue, And we also heard about this woman who said that ONNI of IFE, the first wife stole this and that, and we heard this. But people are asking, how is it that Ooni of Ife is really interested in women who have been married before, who have children before, who had broken marriages and relationships, whatever, marriages particularly? How come he's so interested in this kind of women? And moreover, it's not as if he's having children with them, because from what we know, Ooni of Ife is gathering a lot of women. Is it for financial purposes, or to show that, okay, I have done something that nobody has done before? Because Ooni of Ife only has 2 children that we know. One older child, a female, that he had in the United Kingdom. And now Tadenikawo, that you saw celebrating his birthday, with his dreads on his head, locks on his head, dancing and enjoying himself. Like, did I send them? I didn't ask them to bring me to this world, but he is here and they have to take care of him. Ooni of Ife has to do the needful. Ooni of Ife also, from what we heard, it might not be in his own hands anymore. NAOMI's brother, the allegation is that he got himself involved in defrauding someone, forgery, selling of, hectares of land and all of that. We heard about these things. So, that case is being tried in Akure, I think. And, there is a lot. And if you remember what Ooni of Ife said when BBC interviewed, and they talked about this breakup of NAOMI and himself, he said, when time comes for the whole, whatever it is that anybody wants to know, when the right time comes, naturally, easily, without stress, this will be put out there for people to know. So till now, what have you learned? What we've learned is that Ooni of Ife can marry as much as he wants. And they say, oh, he pays certain people to talk about this and to defend and to defame and to do, whatever it is. He's also a human being, even if he's on that royal stool. There are times that he might feel weak inside of himself. He said something during one of his, marriage. He said, sometimes I'll be sitting down there, nobody will ask if I've taken water, if I've done this, if I've done that. People just forget me and say, oh, he's the king. He's all sufficient. He says he's also a human being. He feels pain. He feels hurt. He feels betrayed. That you're king does not mean that you have now been robbed, like you can be robbed of, of that humanity, that's that pain that we all feel. I'm not trying to make any kind of whatever for him. I just know that at times, when something happens and one person is speaking and the other person has not yet said anything much, you might, kind of want to judge them and say, oh, I think it is this person that did it because the other person has spoken. But nevertheless, we say congratulations once again to Tadenikawo. He's growing up. He might be king, he might not be king, but the crown is on his head already, from a royal family. His father is king. So the young man is enjoying himself and, feeling good. We don't know if Ooni of Ife is going to have another child again. From the talk that we heard, they said, oh, that child came as a result of IVF, came as a result of this and that. Whatever it is, a child has been born, IVF or no IVF. They said the Ooni has Ebola problem. They said this and that. They said this and that. All of those things are talk. Easy one managing his life and nobody. So guys, what are your thoughts about this? I think a lot of you want to say congratulations to Tadenikawo. He's bouncing, as people they say he's bouncing in the Lord. He's bouncing and enjoying the money of his father and also enjoying motherly love and, everything from his mother, as his mother refused to bow to idols. They say she went into the marriage as a result of greed, hoping that she was going to have a big dome. People are going to respect her more. So she closed her eyes, closed her ears from listening to, according to, what she said she can do. According to her, she stopped listening to the voice of God. According to what we know, she stopped listening to the voice of God. Her eyes were blinded. She went into it and she came out very fast. But unfortunately, she didn't come without something. A child has been attached to her and she's going to do what she needs to do to put that child, in the direction that she wants. She won't want that child to grow up and start pouring palm oil on the head of one olokun or throwing some, the worship of deity. She's not, because I think those are the things that a lot of people looked at and they're like, really? Are you trying to convert? Which is, of course, not a big thing, not a bad thing, I mean. Are you trying to convert ONNI of Ife from being that kind of worshiper of deity and all of that? Someone that took covenant and oath before you got to meet him. Is he just going to jump out of that right now? It is a big conflict. It does not just work. That palace is a palace that works with culture and what have you. So how can she come in to put that out? Maybe she thought she could, but unfortunately, it did not just happen. She also got drawn into some other, things of life, and maybe what she wanted to pursue, she couldn't just get it done. ONNI of Ife continually poured things on deity and said, this is our culture. I'm not having issues with Jesus, with your Jesus. Jesus is the Jesus of those ones. This is our own. That kind of conflict is a continual thing. And of Ife concluded saying that I don't want church. Even the churches I have around me in my palace, I brought it down because majority of the pastors that you people kind of hail and whatever, we meet in that place where we know where we see ourselves in the secret. What are your thoughts? Don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so. Red notification icon is very important. Please do tap on it.
I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel, and if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.